Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
What do you get when you mix two white boys, both named Mike? A thing for Justin Timberlake and a piercing above your eye. Was he high? Their stories alone could make you cry. That's when you want to make your Irish goodbye.
I really enjoy that picture of the three of us.
Which one?
The
one where
wholesome
I'm
one at
wearing
the
this
end.
exact outfit?
You are?
I think I am. I'm like all scrunched up, kind of looking like a tourist
Oh,
over a bowl of soup.
what do you mean?
I don't know.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Irish Goodbye Podcast, the storytelling podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Feeney. Being joined with me, as always, by
Mike Cannon. Wish I came out stronger.
Yeah. Hey,
You know?
well, there's time to recover. That's good. We always if we have one other podcast name, it should be the Stumble Out the Blocks podcast.
Yeah, I really come out of shit. Like, for podcasts, I come out like Jorge Masvidal knocked out Ben Askren, but I miss often. Like I take the knee and it ends up hitting the cage behind them, and the person already punches me in the back of the head.
We're very good at we're like one of those inspirational track videos where the person looks like there's no way they could ever catch up because they've been laughed twice, and then in the end they just really turn on the burner. So if you get through about 56 minutes of us, you're gonna fucking really not regret it.
I've seen this one, and I forget if it was Olympics or college, but it was like the 400, and it's on the final lap, and this one team has this crazy insurmountable lead, and then this one black girl from I forget what school or team, they focused in on her, and so you're like, something's gonna happen, and you watch her start the track and the whole lap, and you're like, all right, this just kind of looks like they're gonna lose by a lot, and then the last 200, it's as if she gained superpowers.
Yeah.
It looked like her lungs were going to explode. Like, that's how much air she was taking into her body, and just made up like a fucking 200-yard difference and beat this person.
I'm so I actually have
cried.
a fun little track thing I'll bring up later on. Maybe a little tease for later.
You have a
I have a little
track
related
story?
track story that will tie into later on. So that's
Why not now?
because it's part of my trip.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. What,
Yeah.
you just ran in a meet?
Well, you see, stick around.
It was the exact opposite of the Jamaican bobsled team. They bring you to Jamaica to run?
Yeah. Everyone's like, I don't get it, but crazier stories have existed, I guess. But I do have this fun thing that is I pulled a Catch Me If You Can at Starbucks.
You wrote a fake check?
Better. So
Okay.
I go to one of my favorite rest stops on my trip to Jersey. That one it's exactly halfway to Uncle Vinny's. It's that Thomas Edison,
The one with Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A,
Yeah.
the brand new Starbucks, clean bathrooms.
Yeah.
It's like a very it's brand new. So I go there. I'm like, I got some extra time. I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, go to Starbucks, get a drink, hit the road, So I go to Starbucks. First, I actually go to the other section, like the little mini mart section.
Yeah.
I bought like chapstick and a pack of gum, right? So they give me the receipt.
Chapstick.
Yeah, my lips were sunburned.
Your lips got dry from the open road?
They were sunburned.
Oh.
Again, we'll explain later on. But so I needed some chapstick, needed some gum. Go do that. Get the gum. Get the receipt for that. Keep it. Hold it onto it. Tax write off, baby.
Yeah.
So I go to Starbucks. There's like a pretty long line. So I'm already like, Jesus Christ. But I have extra time, so it's not a big deal. I give the woman my order. I go stand over there. Now I'm watching everybody's drink come out. Now there's people after me. Their drinks are coming. I ordered an iced tea lemonade. So it's like a pretty quick thing. So I don't know what's taking so
Right.
long. I look down and I'm on my phone. I'm not really paying attention. I'm not in a huge rush. So I look down at one point and I go, holy shit, I've been standing here for 20 minutes. 20 minutes I've been standing at this Starbucks. Like, everybody that was on the line in front of me and behind me is already back on the highway. So I'm going...
It's a full news cycle of people.
And I see them, like, working on my drink. I see the iced tea and the lemonade, but they're, like, pouring
What,
it.
they've considered the lemons?
I
Like, how do you work on that
I
drink?
think, like, they ran out and were refilling the jug to refill. Like, you know what I mean? It was that kind of a thing where I could see they didn't forget about it, but there's no, like, emphasis to hurry up.
Sure.
So I do a thing. This is my Catch Me If You Can moment. This is pretty fantastic. I take the receipt from the mini mart of the chapstick and the gum, and I go to somebody else who's building the drinks, and I go, excuse me. I go, look at this, man. Look at my receipt. I've been here 20 minutes, and I give the guy my Mini Mart receipt, showing him a and I go, look at the Starbucks receipt. I've been here for 20 minutes, and he takes the receipt, and he goes, what? And he looks at it, he goes, wow, 20 minutes. And then I see his eyes go up to look to read what it is, and I go, hey. And
He's like,
I go, hey, this is unacceptable. And he's like, you're right. And he goes around, builds the drink. So this was like the thing where he throws the wallet full of fucking coupons at the guy. So he gives it back to me. You know, he gives me the drink. He goes, sorry about that. He's still holding the receipt. And I go, can I get that receipt back? Actually, I need that. And he goes, okay. And then he goes,
for my taxes.
yeah. And he goes, I swear to God, he goes, wait, this isn't even for here. And I go, thank you. And I
Wow.
Yeah.
That is good, Mr. Abagnale.
Thank you.
That's
Frank
pretty
Abagnale
impressive.
Jr. That's me.
The mic just went like this automatically. As if it bowed to you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Alex laughed silently off camera, which was
that's
off
cool.
mic. The one time Harrington's not in there screaming into the mic, and it could have been.
Yeah, we could really use fucking G Mike's grumbly, I've smoked 6 packs of cigarettes voice laugh.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
So that's fun.
Dude, so I went to the dentist last week. And the dentist is so I've been twice now, actually. The first time was for a cleaning. In my life. I mean, everybody, if you've listened to this podcast for a long time, you literally know my first dentist's name. And if you don't, sign up at gasdigitalnetwork.com.
It's one of the episode
ICP.
names.
Yeah, it sure is. And I will not repeat it. And thankful it's behind a paywall.
And thank God we didn't have drops back then. So go
I
ahead.
mean, it would have been littered with the problematic sounds.
Yeah.
So we I hate it because I've had tooth trauma. I've told the story before how I got my fucking dumb front tooth knocked out.
Yeah.
I had 7 cavities the first time I ever went to a dentist. I'm sure I got molested by one with Novocaine on his finger, so I didn't feel anything. You know, it just like there's some history with me with dentists. Thanks for the smile.
I laughed. I didn't want to interrupt.
You didn't smile.
You plowed ahead.
You didn't laugh. You went like this.
I guess because you were like, I got molested by one, but I couldn't feel it. And then you were just plowing ahead. So
I was scared of your non-response.
Well, don't sneak it in if you don't want me to laugh. Well,
that's what I told him, the dentist. So I'm like entering into this situation after I don't think I've been to the dentist, certainly not in a year during the pandemic. And it was definitely at least 6 months before that. So it's been a while. And, you know, I just, the whole thing, I get the anxiety. It almost feels like my last few months deep inside the rabbit hole. I just know that it's impending doom is on the other side.
Sure.
So I schedule it, get the cleaning, make Nicole go first. She goes first. I go next. And, you know, the cleaning is a nightmare, but also better than I thought. Like it felt really cathartic, and afterwards you walk around with these pinging teeth, and you know there's no problem or anything like that. And so the dentist is like kind of telling me jokes, of course, because he asks what I do, and I tell him what I do, and you know it's just dentists I think are so conscious of how people don't like them that they've developed. They're almost like a bored housewife where they're developing these external skills that nobody could possibly care about, but in an effort to make themselves well-rounded to be liked.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like how Midwestern housewives will do like Pinot and painting or something like that. They're like, I'm actually an amateur painter.
Sure.
Shit face. And
So what does your dentist do?
So my dentist, he plays music.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, kind of, you know, mention it offhand. Joe Latrulia, actually, the guy from Superbad, who hits Jonah Hill with the car and then takes him to the party. That hilarious dude. He goes to the same dentist, and he's like telling me that. And I'm like, so you got 2 famous comedians. That's pretty exciting for you. And he's
pretty
like,
cool that you don't have any confidentiality agreement working out. Just really breaking your little oath that you got.
Yeah, that's right, actually. Well, and 2 of them did. They all told me separately. I guess I'm very proud of that. Hopefully this doesn't get back to him. If it does, I also go there. So whatever. So, you know, and he's telling me this the first time, but I'm kind of like, you know, I'm not paying attention. I'm just white knuckled the entire time. And then at the end, he like does the thing where, you know, Frank the Tank in Old School when they hit the thing and he checks the grocery bag and then walks away and then checks it again.
Yeah.
That's what he did to my mouth. And then on the check back, he was like, oh no. He's like, there's a piece of your filling missing. And I was like, fuck. He's like, yeah, I'm surprised you haven't been in pain. And I'm like, I'm in pain all day, every day of my life. I was like, what do you mean? And he's like,
haven't you seen these eyebrows?
yeah, they're in constant pain shape. So what's your problem?
Pain brows.
So he's like, oh, okay, so you got to come in 2 weeks to get that done. And I'm like, fuck, I was out.
Yeah.
I was out. It was gonna be 6 months. I'd probably push it
He
to a year.
Columbo'd you there. Oh, one more thing.
Yeah, one more thing. And so I end up going back, and I'm panicking the entire time. I'm sweating, so I have to wear like a really busy sweatshirt so it doesn't show through.
Yeah.
And I get down, and the assistant is so nice. They have great bedside manner. She's just like classic New Yorker. She's telling me about her year and how they've been working the entire time. Told me about Joe, how he goes there, and I'm like, cool. Made the same famous comedian joke. No laugh again. And then I get in there, and the dentist gets in there. And he starts like kind of negging her a little bit, like almost like, so what happened to the computer here? What's going on with the computer? It's not working. He's like, that doesn't seem acceptable. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, go back to like looking in my mouth and then stop and be like, why doesn't it work? I just like, she's on the phone with him all the time. The IT guy, like I feel like this should be working right now. He's like, you know what? Get her in the other room to pull it up. And then she's like, do you want me to get her up? He's like, you heard what I said. Like,
whoa, toxic environment.
But then she like kind of gave it back to him with something. And then they're doing it. And I'm like, is this fucking dentist office shtick or some weird
I think it's like a Desperate Housewives situation.
It's a bit of both, right? So he's like, because then he'll like slip in a bit to me or like tell me who his favorite comic is. So it's a comedy heavy thing here.
Sure.
And then he like, he's talking to her about giving him the tools and he's telling me about his music.
A shtickle of fluoride.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's like puts the tools on my chest, which I always find to be super off-putting.
What do you mean always find? They do that all the time?
Yeah, like on a human table.
No, they do not do that. No dentists.
They don't?
Look. No dentists do that. They have a separate
They have a tray for it, yeah.
sterilized, pull it out of the package tray like a tattoo artist would pull the needles.
I mean, they're not taking them from a drawer.
No,
and,
I know, but
running them
still,
under a
they
sink.
leave them on the sterile thing. They don't balance them on your chest.
Well, this dentist does, and he took him out of the case and then just put him there for close proximity, I guess. And they're half arguing, and then he's telling me, he's like, "Should I play him?"
I'm gonna call Joe and tell him to stop going there.
he goes to the assistant. He's like, "Should I play Mike my music? Should I play Mike my music?" And I'm like,
you're like,
he's he's asking me. I mean, it's got to be a bit that they do, and I'm sure people have talked about this ad nauseum. But like,
it's a great bit from Cosby.
Is it because, dude?
One of his best.
It is an intentional thing, right? That they're asking you questions that are not yes or no. And you have your fucking face, like you're getting a mouth pap smear.
And then they put that there.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. Yeah. And I'm always.
I'm gonna go watch that special again. Bill Cosby's himself. Check it out.
Oh, all right. Promoting Cosby.
Yeesh. Okay. I stand by the comedy of that special.
Yeah, no, I do too. It's probably the best ever. Top tier rapist too, to be honest.
Yeah. Give us a choke of cake. Yeah, I mean it's
he's
timeless.
just good at everything he chooses to do.
Yeah.
So
when he puts his mind or roofies to.
He puts his mind, body, and spirit into. He's just top tier of everything.
Yeah.
And of bringing tears. What?
Damn.
I mean, we just watched a clip of Brendan that we discussed could be the end of his career, and then it's like, 13 minutes in, we've run out of things to say, and I'm just,
You're in the middle of a story.
I know. I forgot what I was talking about.
Should I play on my music?
Oh, yeah. So should I play? And I'm like, face out of there. I got like half silver kind of dangling down my throat, and he's like not getting it, and I'm like trying to like lurch up to get like the teeth particles up towards the front of my mouth, and he's like, "You want to hear it?" And I'm like, "Never anything more." Like I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, dude. Just anything to keep you good at your job, to get me the fuck out of here." So he puts on the music. And then he does a John Mayer between songs riff about what the song
What inspired
means
him to write?
where it came from. Like he's describing a tattoo.
I wrote this solo when I was on a beach in Hawaii. I was looking out at the ocean. I thought to myself, you know what? We're kind of all grains of sand if you think about it.
I wish it was that deep. Instead, it was like called 10 p.m. And he's like, this is about like a guy waiting outside the door at 10 p.m. And he's dressed and his buddy's like getting ready. And
Okay, is it on Spotify? Can we play a little clip of it?
I don't know. Maybe. Look up that
Look
song.
if his musician name is like, John fucking Smith DDS, and that's it.
That it's Joe Latruglia's dentist.
Yeah.
That's his fucking band name. Yeah, but then he was literally like doing that, like pausing and then playing it in the background, and then every once in a while it'd be like da-da-da, and like sing off a line or something like that, and then kind of come back to my mouth, and I was like, this is
What kind of music would you say it was?
it was like folk shit. Like I don't know how to
Emotional folk?
Yeah, like half like like dentist rock.
Okay.
That's actually the best way to describe
Yeah.
it. Dentist rock. Yeah, it's like what that guy thinks cutting loose is.
And so how did it end?
It ended with me getting the filling, and he goes, "This is the most beautiful filling I've ever done in my entire life." And then he was done. He's like, "Well, I'll see you later." And he like threw the drill at the assistant. It hit her in the head.
Yeah.
He's like, "Check your teeth." And I looked, and the tooth was connected to the other molar, so I couldn't even get floss in there. And I go, doc, you got a little line to fucking peel out.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, my bad. And I was like, best one you ever did,
Oh
huh?
my God.
And then I just fucking bounced, and I was like, I'll see you in 6 months.
What a terrible dentist.
Yeah, but I'll see him in 6 months. It actually was the most pleasant dentist experience I've ever had in my entire life.
You did not paint that picture that way.
I know, but it's because all of my experiences are so negative. This guy playing me his dream.
That would be my worst dentist experience.
Yeah.
The dentist I go to, the one in Manhattan, it's like, it might as well be a Hooters. It's all just, it's big-breasted women who, like, lean over you while the dentist is a male, but all the cleaners and stuff like
Yeah.
that are female, and they're, like, so like overtly nice and like overly touchy.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, that's
very
hot.
it's I mean, I had no idea that's what it was when there, but I will go there until they're out of business.
Just send me a referral. But
Absolutely.
This is also coming from my last dentist being like coming fresh off of a bringer show at Gotham Comedy Club where it was Funniest Doctor, and he's like, yeah, I just had like 2 martinis and then I talked about my mother-in-law.
Oh, that stinks.
And that guy leaned on my front fake tooth and cracked the bonding out accidentally, and then
Where's Alex? Like Alex.
and then he fucking like built me a new one and was like, so we're gonna give that I'm gonna give you the discount just on materials for the front tooth. And I go,
not on labor?
I go, wanna bet? I go, wanna fucking bet? I was like, you're not charging me a single cent for that, because without your dipshit pinky, it wouldn't have been outside of my mouth.
Terrible.
Yeah, so that's a real shitbag dentist.
Who? What famous person goes to him?
Joe Latruglia's sister. I've said his name 4 different kinds of ways. Joe Latruglia, Joe
Yeah.
Latru.
Truglaglio?
Yeah, Truglagan.
Tagliatelle. Joe Tagliatelle. Man, what a fucking nightmare. No wonder why you hate dentists.
Yeah, I just, dude, the whole time, like, the Novocaine was actually pretty good. And and then, of course, I got home and I was like, yeah, the dentist said I can't eat for a few hours, and Nicole found that to be just absolutely not acceptable. So we went out.
She's like, I prepared for you this hard candy dinner.
Yeah, you don't want this toffee I just made?
Yeah, toffee and jawbreaker combo?
With a side cup of glass. Yeah. And then we went out to dinner, and I tried to like eat on one side of my mouth, and Crew is starting to get to that age where I infamously made us leave. Like when I was a kid, I made us leave every restaurant we were in
Just by
because I was
screaming?
just such a fucking wreck. And Crew is like creeping into that arena, and it's both like lovely and also a nightmare at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I always wondered, because it's like, I know there's that, you see it multiple times where everybody knows that, sometimes the kids are just a nightmare and there's nothing, the parents don't want the kids to be screaming.
Right.
But there is a thing where you can see some parents that just it obviously is whatever, a phase or something they're going through, but they're so beaten down that they're like, they don't hear it anymore. Like they're just eating while the kid's like, just screaming. And the rest of us have to do the thing where we're like, yeah, time to get the bill.
The shitty thing is it's kind of raising a child by committee because that's the proper response. You don't want to give it the attention because then that reinforces the behavior.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the proper response is to kind of like drone out and just make this like just stifle it with fucking with a pillow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks. It
iPad
sucks for
is
everyone.
the new pillow. Is what they just go shut up and they're like,
yeah. Well, that's why we have just disconnected kids that have no feelings.
Anyway, I took a little trip. I had to skedaddle here for a little while.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, Erica and I were like, you know what? We haven't left really since March, you know, and we were talking about
Atlantic City didn't quench your thirst.
Yeah, well, Erica hasn't like got to leave. I got to go to Atlantic City. She didn't. So it's been a nightmare. We got sick cats throwing up every day. So it's been hell. And so we're like, let's leave. So we found this. We were looking up different islands that we could go to because we're like, let's just go. We haven't done like a sit on a beach, do nothing trip since 2008 when we graduated college. That was the last time we went to Dominican Republic, just did nothing for 8 days. And ever since then, anytime we travel, we always go to like Europe or something, which is awesome. And I fucking love it. But it's always 14-hour days of like sightseeing, 10
Full
miles of
itinerary.
walking, jet lag. It's just like, I need to do like get off a plane, sit on a beach, leave in 4 days. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So,
gain 18 pounds.
Yeah, so we're looking at all of these Caribbean places, and so many of them have so many COVID restrictions, like, you know, you got to quarantine there for 2 weeks, you got to do this, you got to take tests every 6 minutes, all this other stuff. So one of the only places that was open and kind of met all of the check boxes was Jamaica. And so we looked up, we were looking up these things. All you have to do is get a test 3 days before. So we're looking at places, but now because there's so few islands that are able to go there, there's prices are surging everywhere for the flights and for the thing. So we're looking up all these different places across all of Jamaica, and we're bouncing back and forth. And we find this one that we're like, it's always on the TripAdvisor's like best all-inclusive of the entire Caribbean, and a bunch of other people. It's very small, boutique-y, adult only, all-inclusive, which is another thing we've never gone to. So we're like, okay.
Very rarely broken into with M16.
Yeah, very rarely taken over by the militia. And so we finally key in on this place, and we're like, okay, this could be a good place. And the next day we're looking at it, and it's like, so like we were having coffee, and I go, let me see what the price of this place is. And it was so cheap. It was so cheap for like the flights and for 5 days there that I was like, something's wrong. Let's book this right now. And so we booked it right then and there. And within an hour of us doing that, the price we paid for the week it went back to like the normal price. And what we paid for the 5 days is the price per night there without flights.
No
and
shit.
so we got like a direct flight from JFK directly to Jamaica.
Yeah.
And it also included this, so whatever. So we go to Jamaica. It included this kind of VIP
Beef patty package.
This expediting process through customs. So basically, like you get off the plane. And that's the only thing that sucks about flying is you have to have the mask on the entire flight.
Yeah,
and that's just 4 hours of just there. And I'm like, I can't imagine if someone was flying to Fiji or something where it's like 26
But the great
hours.
part about that is like now you're vaccinated, so you can get a mask that doesn't work.
Yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Oh,
those,
and they don't.
those
And it was
surgical ones that like just
completely-
leave this completely wide open.
And a completely full flight. There's no more saving the middle seat open.
Right.
It's just pack them in because they're trying to make up the lost money, right? So we get this. Part of this package includes like, you know, besides driving us from the airport, because it's like an hour and 20 minutes from the airport to where we're staying.
Yeah.
So they're like,
Well,
we
it's a
include.
donkey ride.
It's a burro. And so we're including that. And then, so they say, give us this thing. We land there. This woman, like, you know, has the sign. She holds up our names, and she walks us. The line for customs is like 2 hours long. It looks like it's just hundreds of people snaked all the way going this way. they basically do like a fuck you guys, walk us right through everybody because of this little like thing that I think if you bought it separately, it would be like $60, which already would be worth it, you know? So we go right through customs. They take us to like this refreshment area that they give us some, you know, just stupid like finger foods and just some free drinks, right? While they go and call the hotel and figure out where the guy who's picking us up is and tell him to pull the car around for us.
Whoa.
It's like this like door-to-door service that I was like, this is the greatest, and it's part of the airport. It's not even part of the hotel. It's like the airport offers this service, and you're like, the best $60 I would have spent had it not been included in this thing already. So,
wow.
So
would you have even known to buy that, though?
Of course not. Of course not. But
where do you get something like that?
I don't know. I guess if you were booking like through that airport, maybe that would be one of like the 11 options where they're like, do you want to buy a bag? Do you want to upgrade your seat? And all that, which you probably just would have said, skip.
Was it JCA?
What's
Jerk Chicken Air?
I just want to make sure the podcast listeners are done laughing. All right, you guys are caught up. You didn't need to pause it. We kept it. We let it go for you. So we get our driver. We get this guy. Love this guy. His name was Omar. And he's just like, you know, just like the best kind of, like exactly how you would picture a cab driver born and raised in Jamaica to be. Just like giving us the tourism, like, you know, elevation above sea level, explaining the island and what's kind of this and the kind of people that live here, the kind of people that live there. And we're driving through this whole thing, and they drive on the other side of the road there and stuff. So, and then, you know, I'm not kidding, dude. 10 minutes into the ride, starts being like, so you got everything you need, man. And I'm like, yeah, you know, we're just going to hang out at the beach. We're not going to do much. And he was like, cool. Do you need anything, though? And I was like, it's funny you say that because, you know, Lewis was also in Jamaica. We were both in Jamaica at the same time. And Lewis told me that there is a legal dispensary that was like a literally 3-minute drive from our hotel. And so I was like, but the laws kind of are like they have to drop you off directly there. And then if you leave, you have to be like accounted for just for like contact tracing because there was a spike going on in Jamaica when we went in there. So there was from that day, we landed at 11 a.m. from 12 p.m. until 12 p.m. Saturday until Monday. It was kind of like a lockdown of sorts for them. So
you're
all the
making
businesses.
Me crazy, man.
I know you've just been waiting to work that in.
Yep.
And so
there's more.
I hope. So you know, I start going, you know, there's a legal dispensary and, you know, would you mind pulling off there and stuff? And instantly he's like, that weed is terrible. He basically is telling me it's like terrible. You have to do a fake doctor's appointment. I couldn't for that long. You know,
that weed is no good, boy. So you'd be better off getting from me cousin.
So immediately he just goes, I got everything you need, man. It goes in the dashboard at a red light and just was like...
A crab comes out playing the metal drums.
Yeah.
Just hands you a bag.
So he comes over, he gives me, he's like, you know, gives me everything I need. And then, you know, but the one thing he gives me was like, he tried to give me papers, but there was literally only one paper left, you know, and I asked for like an eighth and it was like so much more than that.
Yeah.
And so he ended up pulling off at a gas station to get me papers, which is also so hilarious and trusting that he just like left his running cab and like he left us in the running cab and ran in and got papers for us.
Wow.
Like, yeah. So
you didn't smoke blunts for me?
Well, he didn't offer me blunts. He offered me papers. They smoke joints there a lot of the times.
I know, but I saw on Lewis's stories as he kind of like sexily looked into the camera that he was smoking blunts.
He's a phony baloney.
Yeah.
So whatever. So the guy gives us to where we're like already perfect. Like we're not even at the place yet. We already don't have to worry about weed. We got that all set up. We get there and this place is just like here's the thing. They have 80 rooms total in this place.
80?
So even when it's packed, it's still only 80 rooms in the whole place. It's very small. This week that we're there, there's 20 people in the entire resort. So it is like pretty much hours and hours alone. So Omar pulls us up there. Immediately, the people come over. They know our first and last names. They're like greeting us. They walk us around the grass. Everyone is just like over the top customer service at an 11 out of 10, right? They come in and they're like, are you guys celebrating anything? And you know my scam. Always anniversary. For some reason, little jet lag, little tired. panicked, said honeymoon. So now we just got to live that lie. Because also in the notes, I found out
I
after.
thought it usually was honeymoon.
Sometimes it's honeymoon. We go back and forth. But this time.
It's more effort, I guess.
Yeah, and it's more effort. And here's the thing. Erica put in the notes ahead of time that it was anniversary. But I jumped the gun and said honeymoon. And they were so nice they like didn't even call us on it. But now we have to live up that lie. And then I kind of undid it where I said it was like an anniversary moon where we got married right in late 2019.
Every
but
day
couldn't
is
take,
a honeymoon
we
with
were like,
us.
I was like, we got married right in late 2019 and we couldn't take our honeymoon because of COVID. So now this is kind of like a delayed honeymoon, but we've already been married a couple years. So
You're really a genius liar. That is like, that is so perfect.
Yes,
Anniversary
it's perfect.
moon.
Alex, you're just not one for this world. Like Feeney and I just know how to spin yarn and make up lies on the spot.
absolutely.
Yeah, because I would have thought of that exactly as well. What's funny is those people were like, we don't care.
Yeah. Well, they
we
did
don't-
make a nice little towel swan for us with rose petals that night. So,
Nice,
but
that's good.
so we go around, and that first night we go right to the beach. We hang out there. We get drinks on the beach. We start hanging out with the dude who was like the security guard there, who's so awesome. And it's so funny because he's like he's about my age, I think, but he's Americanized in that he's like, we get Family Guy here, and we had like WWF growing up, so so we're bonding over like when we used to watch like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Speaking in a perfect patois, and then he's like, Lois. He just changes it as a dynamite
He's like,
Family
you know
Guy.
about the Family Guy? You know that episode where Stewie comes in? He's the coolest dude. He's the coolest fucking dude. So we're hanging.
My word, Louis. Oh,
Well, that was
wasn't
a great Stewie.
That was okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I'm doing
Okay.
for fear of getting it wrong.
So we have dinner that night or whatever, and then afterwards they have like a different entertainment thing every night. And the first night is like karaoke night. That's like the thing, and people are like, oh, you got to check out the karaoke night in this martini bar. So you're like, great. So we go to dinner, we go over to this martini bar, we're having some cocktails, and it's like, there's only 8 people in that bar, and like, so it's already like not everybody's gonna be doing karaoke. So the and we know this, the person who has to host the karaoke, if no one's doing karaoke, you got to do karaoke. And this poor
You're
woman
gonna have a sore throat.
Yeah, so she's belting it out, and what she's doing, which I thought was so fucking genius, instead of singing every song, she would sing a song, and then she would go back and like put on some music. She would just kind of play like, what do you guys want to hear?
Yeah.
And then play some music videos and stuff. And because DMX had just died, she was playing DMX, and like, as a person, because we walk in and they're like, Michael and Erica celebrated their honeymoon from New York. They were like, DMX.
As you walked in?
Yeah, as we walked in. So we're ready. Like, and also I've been drinking, so it's taking every ounce of me to not like do DMX at karaoke.
Yeah, you should have. You could have gotten away with a
I
lot.
was so close. And
as a New Yorker, I think they think that's okay.
yeah, so I am like, I'm trying so hard not to sing and stuff. And so people are all singing, and they're like, find a song. So I do that thing where I've always in my head go, if ever I get picked for karaoke, I have these 10 songs I could choose from that'll blow the doors off. And then every time they were like, what karaoke song do you want to do? That list is gone. I've never known a song. I don't know any words to any songs. I don't know anything. And I spend, I'm not kidding, like the next hour on my phone, like looking at Spotify, being like, what's a good song? What to pump people? And they're like, only 20 minutes left to karaoke. Mike, do you have a song? And I'm like, I'm looking. I'm like panicking, and I'm drinking more, and I'm trying to find a song, and I eventually decide.
The answer is in this cup.
yeah. So eventually I have enough drinks, and I go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do Billy Joel. I'll do some Billy Joel. That'll fucking get people going. It's a nice, fun song. There were people from Massachusetts there and stuff like that. And so like, there's some stadies that are going to like, that are interested. So I'm like, I'll do fucking Billy Joel. I'll do Billy Joel. So I walk over there, and I don't know what happened, but I was like, I had Billy Joel at the corner of my mouth, and instead I just did Rick Astley. I just was like, she's like, what do you want to do? And I go, Rick Astley. And she's like, all right, what song? And I was like, Never Gonna Give You Up, obviously.
Like, it took you 57 minutes to think of that?
Here's the thing. I rick-rolled the crowd, and they were like, and they were mostly older crowd. They were like, for the most part, people were in like their 50s and stuff. We were the younger people there by like a good margin, and it fucking crushed. I mean, it was, dude, I was holding court just doing, we're no strangers to love. Yeah,
I don't know why every time I think.
Do I?
I mean, that's great. That's good stuff.
I do a good Rick Ass, and it killed.
Every time I think of Rick Astley, I think of Rexe from Empire Records. What Rex Manning.
For who?
Forget it. Forget it.
Don't forget to leave a 5-star review on iTunes, everybody. Leave us a 5-star review. Check it out. Tell the friends about a podcast. This one specifically would be great. We have so many episodes out there for you to enjoy. We have over 220 episodes. We only got 25 available on iTunes. So if you want more, go to gasdigitalnetwork.com. Use the promo code IGP. Get you a 1-week free trial. Gives you all the bonus content, all the episodes, all the other podcasts on the network, all their bonus episodes, all their behind the paywall stuff. It's crazy. It also gives you a discount to podcastmerch.com. Love that website too. But, either way, podcast merch, you can get shirts, you can get hoodies. They're right there. You can buy one even if you don't have a Gas Digital Network subscription. But hey, it gives you a little discount, so why not support the show in as many ways as possible?
Has malnourished Dylan summoned the nutrients to draw us our Sagalo t-shirt?
I'll have to check in with him on it. Yeah, we'll find out.
Okay. You guys just, again, keep spreading the word. We love that you guys listen to the pod and always say nice things. And we also do have a story from a fan, so if we get time to it, we'll do it this week. If not,
nice.
Another week. But you guys can also check out our other podcasts. Here's the Scenario, which is with myself, Mike, and Brendan Sagalo, and we do what ifs, hypotheticals. You can go to patreon.com/scenariopod, or just go to here'sthescenario.com, and that's got all the information, the iTunes link, all the social stuff, all that kind of stuff, and the Patreon if you want to support.
Ton of shit on the Patreon, though. I just put a basketball workout up there, the one that I told the story about on this podcast.
Yes.
Feeney and Sags put their sketches up early every single week. I got another, I'm going to start doing a weekly reacting to edibles video. Weekly, hopefully. We'll see. But that's probably the only one. But yeah, I did the first one. It was so fun. It was ridiculous. And that's going up there next week. We got a bunch of stuff coming in. I'm about to play Bobby Kelly in Heads Up Poker. And we're gonna shoot that like a Rounders scene. It's gonna look sexy.
Hell yeah.
Really pumped. Just putting a lot of stuff on there. Patreon.com/scenariopod.
You can go to MikeFeeneyComedy.com for dates. If anybody's listening, we're rescheduling the one in Norwalk, Connecticut. So don't go tickets to that. Don't go to that show. Instead, I'm going Back East Brewery on, I believe it is May 1st. So that's my other Connecticut gig. You can come out to that and grab tickets. You can also, there's other dates. I have Uncle Vinny's coming up next week. I'll be there, I think, Wednesday and Thursday. It wasn't on the website until our friend Court mentioned that to us. So it's back. It's on there now. So I'll be there, Wednesday and Thursday, the 28th and 29th. Other dates and stuff like that coming in. So just check that out and watch my special, Rage Against the Routine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, mine too. Life Begins. YouTube.com. All that stuff eventually goes there also. .com/Mike Cannon Comedy.
Alex?
You could follow me on Twitter and Instagram at I am Alex Scar, and check out my podcast, Broad Topics, TOPIX, right here on gasdigitalnetwork.com/live every Thursday at 9:30. You could catch it for free on iTunes and YouTube, and stay tuned at the end of the episode for a clip from Broad Topics.
G-Mike?
I'm G-Mike across all platforms. Use promo code IGP to get a PS5. Well, you won't get a PS5. You'll be in a raffle. One member of Gas Digital will get a PS5. And also, our friends at Blue Chew have something for you guys.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Oh, man, I'm going to stir up my wife's vagina like it's fruit at the bottom yogurt.
Hell yeah. It sounds painful. So let's get back into this. So that first night happens, we drink way too much, like way more than we were expecting to drink. And then, what's awesome is our place had this, I should really send Alex like a video of this thing or whatever, but we're kind of staying in like a treehouse situation.
Oh, that's fun.
So it's kind of like, it's this little treehouse thing where it has
you get to feel like Mowgli.
Mowgli, yeah, the Jungle Book.
You got that one?
Got it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to send this one to you, Alex. Yeah, I'm going to send this. So we end up, going, we have this awesome little treehouse that has this cool little balcony on it and stuff. And when you open the door, it's all just like lush garden. There's goats running around and stuff and all these. So, we go out and it also has kind of like this bed area.
Just a dude with a knife chasing the goats.
Yeah. So there's like this little couch like lounge area, so we go outside, we're like smoking outside, it's like 80 degrees at night.
So what's the deal with that? You're like freely smoking, nobody gives a fuck, or are you doing like, are you like kind of,
it's like, I think it's decriminalized, but it's like how New York has always been, where it's like you can't really like flagrantly do it in public, but we're only kind of smoking on our balcony in our room just because we're like, this is the, the best, the safest place to do it because whatever. But so, we're just chilling out there. We're smoking. It's just like so perfect, like first night. We're already, we feel like way less stressed. Plus I said, we've been drinking. We just crushed karaoke. Things are fucking, looking up. The next day, we wake up. And now it's funny because after doing karaoke, like I said, there's so few people here at this resort that it feels like it's such a small resort and we're seeing all the people at like breakfast and everything. It feels like we had a one-night stand with them last night.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, Rick Astley, you killed it last night. What's up, New York? They just start calling us New York. And so it's like they thought...
Oh, you're on a cruise ship, basically.
Yes, dude. It's very much cruise ship energy because they thought we were like friends, and like...
I hate making couple friends on vacation.
Especially when they're like 20 years older than you and these people from Massachusetts have been there like 11 times, so they want to tell us all the different, and they're like, and the good thing is because of my lie that we were on our honey anniversary moon, people kind of were leaving us alone because they knew we wanted some privacy, but still over talking to us. So we had this,
B-Tag, him and his wife are like unbelievable at making friends on vacation. Always, like even if they're at like a romantic villa on the water, like one of those things that's like basically a treehouse, but just above the water, and there's little pods separated from each other. They'll meet somebody from like 4 houses down and then hang out with them for the entire week they're down there.
No, we didn't want
and I'm
that.
like, you still have a grudge against Sagalo because he's a new friend of mine. How dare you?
Alex, do you have the video? So this is what it's like when you walk out of our place. So this is just ours privately. Put the sound up on this if you can. I mean, doesn't it sound like a white noise machine of relaxation?
Yeah.
So there's a little goat, and there's this little area you could sit down there and stuff. So that's just the view from when you walk out of the room. So that's like...
It is tough. Sorry to interrupt, but like every single time I see an animal like that, I picture shooting it.
Oh.
And not because I want it dead, but I want to see if I can hit it.
Well, it was tied to a tree, so it wasn't going anywhere. It'd be
But
pretty
do you know
easy.
what I mean? Don't you wish that there could be like retractable bullets, like where you could just kind of like look at a fucking goat like that and just be like,
No, that's
good
what,
shot, and then pull it out and it's fine.
That's what video games are for. Practicing.
But wouldn't you rather be like this? Like that's a good image to give to the internet, right?
Yeah. No, I would not, Michael. No, I would not. So,
My phone can be the bump stock.
So that's dead. No, none of that. So the second day, we're just like, we get a full day there. I had a weird thing, which I was so impressed because I think as a person who's so bad with names, I was impressed that like everybody would like remember our names so early.
Yeah.
And we had this thing where, so we were in this treehouse area, but if you want to go to the beach, it's like across the street, but it's like
You have to take a tire swing.
yeah, but the street is like, it's a 2-lane street, but it's like a highway. Like people go like 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
They say. So
Let me ask, what kind of cars are we talking in Jamaica? Is it like kind of open-doored Honda Civics that like only make sense on an island, or is it a lot of mopeds? Like
there was a lot of like vans. Like it's a lot of like those like
open-doored Honda Civics that only make sense on an island? I thought that was poetry.
So they have like a person that kind of helps you across, like a crossing guard, essentially, they have to kind of like tell people to stop so you can just walk across the street. And then once you walk across the street, you enter these like Jurassic Park doors. That's the privacy of the private, beach
cool.
of the place. And then you go and you walk up and there's like, and it's so great because you don't have to worry about like getting there early and fighting for a spot on the beach because there's like 12 people in the fucking place. So if you see anybody, you're like, oh, what are you doing here? So we get this like, we go up to the beach bartender. One of the only people that like I wasn't a huge fan of, just because it feels like he was kind of like the B team that got called in and he wasn't really great at what he was doing. But he did this thing the first time I went up to him where I was like, oh, this looks good. Can I get like this like Caribbean rum punch thing? And he went like this. He looked at me. He went like this. He went. So he looked me in the eye and then looked me up and down, like undressed me with his eyes to where I felt so uncomfortable. I was like, is that what women feel like all the time? Because I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why did you look at like my...
You should have said something. You should have been like, you know what? Can I get anybody else to make me this drink?
Well, here's the thing. I was very taken aback and offended by it and like really uncomfortable because Erica saw it too. And she's like, what was that? And so, but then I saw someone else do it to me later on. And I think I think that's a way that they teach them to memorize people's names where they're like, look at everything about them. So he
Right.
could be like leg tattoo.
Dainty body.
Yeah. Like incredibly
Patchy
ripped.
facial hair.
Killer hair.
Good
Great
hair,
face.
but a little too confident.
Could tell he's really funny. You know, like he just probably had like a #1 album on iTunes, you know. The algorithm's not working in his favor, but you
yeah.
can tell he's churning out content at an incredible rate and it should be appreciated by more than people than it really is.
Is running from something.
Mike! So they do it. So I think that's what they were doing. So I didn't end up taking that personally, right? So you know, that's like pretty much the second day we just did nothing. It's like go in the water, swim for a while. Then the people, you know, the Massachusetts people with their big, you know, 7-Eleven big cup that of like booze is like, you know, we used to go over there, but we're now over here. And so we would go like, we'll be right back. And then we would go back to the resort, and there was this pool with a swim-up bar and a hot tub that literally nobody was at. Like we had the entire pool to ourselves for like 2 hours, and then people would start coming over to the pool. We go back to the beach. We just like we literally didn't have to see anybody for hours at a time, and it was so awesome. And so the second day, you know, it's pretty much just a lot of that, right? And then and more smoking, and then by day, so we're leaving day 5, right? Day 3, this was where it turned a little bit because one of our friends again is the security guy at the beach. Again, love this guy, so great, so nice, so like had the perfect social tact where he would come over, be friendly, talk to you about something he could relate to you, and then once you do like the yeah. Like, once you do the kind of, like, I'm done with this conversation now, he goes, all right, I'll talk to you later, and would walk away.
Bondi River.
Yeah, he was Bondi Flop. So he would walk away.
Not trying to be a blood clot. I'll get out of here.
At one part, I go, oh, is that, they were setting up a beach volleyball thing, and I go, oh, is that beach volleyball? It's just like my favorite thing on the planet.
with that good shoulder?
I was willing to risk it. I was willing to throw it away. I'm the best beach volleyball player in history. I'm so tall, I fucking spike things.
Yeah.
I love beach, and I lay out
Why
for
didn't
them
you try
too.
to do anything with that?
I did volleyball. I wanted to do volleyball in high school, but it was on like hardwood floor.
Yeah.
It's just
But
not.
you're like boy stilts.
I got to do it. I only got to do it on. It's sand or nothing to me. But I would do like a sand intramural league if there was one of those. I would 100%.
We live in New York.
No, they have them in the city and in Brooklyn. They have them down by in Dumbo. They have a whole beach volleyball court.
You lay out and just the syringe gets stuck right in your fucking trachea.
So they're setting up this beach volleyball court. This is how nice this guy is. They're setting up a beach volleyball, and I go, "Oh, is that beach volleyball?" And he goes, "Yeah, you want to play?" And I go, "I would love to play, but there's so few people here. I think you need like at least 6." And he goes, "Hold on," and he like walks away. He goes to every person that's staying at the resort that's on the beach and like tells them that I want to play. Like my mom setting up a play date, being like, "Can you play with my son? He wants to play. Can you please play with him? Can you please play with him?" And there's only like enough for like only 3 or 4 people who were interested, so we ended up not playing anyway, which is disappointing. But then we would go back there for like the sunset, because it's obviously like on the water. It's a crazy, beautiful sunset. And he's still there at sunset, and he fucking would like he'd be like, "Can I borrow your phone for just a moment?" And then he would take like these unbelievable portraits of Erica and I and the sun like cascading behind us, and he was doing like swooping video things, like an amateur photographer that was like turned into Scorsese by the end of the trip.
With your tutelage.
Yes, sending some of the best videos and pictures of us at sunset I've ever seen in my entire life. Just incredible stuff, right? So by the 4th day, we're at the massage. This is our last like full day there, and we're having our normal conversation. We're like,
imagine this guy heard of the great content creator Mike Feeney coming to his resort, and he's like, I've been trying to come to America for years, just getting some interest from anybody that could help me and give me a reason to come over there and work. And you could have offered him a job as your cameraman, and he
was my cameraman,
but he could have been our cameraman.
yeah. I think he loves Jamaica. Actually, he was a good time there.
Doesn't sound like it.
But so he's, like I said, he's sending us. He's taking all these incredible pictures of us, and I'm like, I can't believe it, Alex. I'm gonna send you one other thing too. And so by the 4th day, though. Or I should say our 4th day, our last full day there, we're talking to him as we do every morning, just shooting the shit, talking about this, that, whatever. And at one point, we were talking about television shows. We're laughing about Family Guy and stuff. And then I bring up, I was like, oh, have you ever watched Always Sunny? Like, that's a show that you would fucking love, man, because like we have very similar sensibilities and whatnot, you know? And, you know, then it all turns because he was like, yeah, I know it's a little too much homophobia for me. And I was like, and he was like, too much of the gays, you know? And I'm like, darn.
Too much positive?
Like he's not in support of gay marriage.
Yeah,
like
right,
he became
right.
like he, you know, because he's very religious.
When
and
in Jamaica, man.
They're very religious, very anti-gay people. So he was kind of
I'm
like,
sure he would have taken
if
you to.
If you are gay, that is fine. But I want to go up to gay people and I go, hey, if you have parents who are gay, how are you here? And I'm like, darn.
Well, because I white knuckled it in a pussy for one night.
I was like, I wish we didn't get to this part of the conversation of our relationship because you were awesome until this moment, you know?
Honestly,
and I'm like,
I'm Team Omar.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Mark it. So I was like, you know, it was one of those where we're like, all right, wish you didn't just say that stuff. All right,
come
I'll
on, man.
see ya.
Seriously, come with me tonight. I'm gonna lop the hands off a gay couple.
Yeah. So the last day we're there too, we get this fucking massage that was the best massage we've ever had in our entire lives. And it also becomes a thing now on our last day of like, we realize just how much weed we have left.
Yeah.
And now it becomes like we need to step it up. Like we need
must.
to be smoking in the mornings, we need to be smoking before dinner, a lot after dinner, like way more than you're comfortable with. Like, I'm like, Erica, you gotta fucking really like step to the plate here. And so we're just smoking. And of course, when you're high, everything takes so much longer. And Erica gets so frustrated because I really get dumbed down. Like, I can't even find my flip-flops. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Or your mask.
I walk out, like,
mine.
I walk 60 feet out of the resort, and then I'm like, I don't have my shirt or any. Like, I just am like a child lost in a Marshalls.
Instantly kidnapped.
Yeah, I'm like in the clothing rack at a Marshalls, just like, where are the hangers part, you know? So I'm completely lost. We get this crazy massage. It's unbelievable. And, we have to get like a COVID test in order to get back. So they take us off site, fucking throw that thing up in our face and stuff. So the last morning that we're there, I think this is the only thing I was going to say. But the last morning that we're there, we go, we have to do the thing where they had to send us the rapid test results, right? So they sent it to us in an email, but Erica was like, I'd like to have that printed out. It'd be just easier, you know, for the airport. So I go, sure. So she was like, you know, we smoked before. We checked out. We smoked. We checked out of our room, went to have breakfast while we were waiting for Omar to come pick us up to drive us back. So we're like pretty baked, and she goes, can you go ask them to print it? I go, sure. So she stays at the breakfast thing. I walk over there. I'm like, hey, and I like everyone's like, everyone knows me now at this point. It's real fun. Like, New York, you know. So I go, oh, could you print out the rapid test thing? And they were like, absolutely, we can, 100%, you know. And they were like, you know, with the concierge, blah, blah, we could do it for you. And I go, great. And then I just stand there, and it was that thing where you just stand there. And they stand there, and they're looking at you like, hello? And
Yeah.
and it was one of the things where I went, did I not hear you correctly?
Yeah, did I miss a fraction of your sentence that was important?
Yeah, and I did. And that sentence was, sure, we'll do it. Email us, concierge at the resort.com. So I go, oh, I'm sorry, I somehow missed that. And they're like, somehow. I'm like, my eyes are blood red. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's like,
sorry, I was sleeping face down in blood.
yeah. So she was like, so she laughs it off. She's like, it's fine. Just, you know, email concierge at the resort. And I just go, concierge, see?
You were so high, you were Sagalo.
Yeah, I couldn't spell. I was like, C-O, and, you know, and then she was like, you know, I'm like spelling it out with her. Yeah. So she prints it out for me. And it was just like, overall, you know, it ended up being, you know, totally fine. Omar drives us back. He was the shit. And overall, it was just a much needed, incredible thing. We actually ran out. We almost got through all the weed. We actually had to, like, get rid of some of the weed. We had 2 extra joints rolled, but they got kind of like humid out. So they were kind of wet and weren't lighting anyway. So we just, instead of just Like, because I'm like, we can't give them. We were going to give them to one of the other couples that were there, which was the day before. There was a couple that showed up that were like our doppelgangers. They were like from Long Island. They were in their 30s. Like Erica and her both were wearing like a neon yellow bathing suit.
Yeah.
Someone confused us for that,
Did
or
you
them
have a
for
problem
us.
with them? Did
Had
you guys
a
glare each other down?
Huge problem with them. Had a huge problem because we're like, we're the young, like hot. And, but meanwhile, I'm like, doesn't matter. We've already. Everybody knows us. Everybody loves us. We did Rick Astley. Everybody. They gotta be us.
Yeah.
They're in competition with us. Yeah.
I remember that happened to us in Tulum, and the guy was gorgeous, so I felt pretty good about being mistaken from him.
Yeah.
And then the girl was super hot too, and she just popped her top off one day and was just swimming with us topless, and I was like, I can't do this. I was like, I can't. I just got out of the pool with a rock hard fucking erection. It was just like, all right. Nicole, you want me to fuck you?
They ended up. Well, that's the only thing that sucks, dude. Is like when we were going, where there was a day that we kind of walked down the beach, and there's just all of these like, literal like huts that they were selling. They sell things at, and obviously
I believe those are adobos.
What do you mean?
Right? Isn't that an adobo? Isn't that a hut?
I don't know, but it's what I have no idea.
Mexico,
but
probably.
it was just this like. Tourism is all of their economy, and there's no tourism, and so like everybody's doing terrible there, and so like you feel bad because you wanna give them money, but like towards the last day they're like very like the second you walk over they're like come in, and they like bring you in, and Erica's like I'll buy a dress if there's something I want, but everything was just kind of like knick-knacky and like things that you wouldn't ever want to like wooden like sculpture, and you're like I don't want any, and then they we're from New York, so we're being like we're good, and they're just they're so like crying, like please, for the love of God, buy anything. So we ended up going to, even though lunch was included in the thing, we ended up buying lunch from this guy because he caught fresh lobsters every day, and it's like a foot away from the resort. Caught fresh lobsters, and he would like cook them on the open grill with like butter and garlic, and like the perfect. It was probably the best lobster we've ever had in our lives. It was incredible. It was so good, and you're like, that is like, it felt good to support that.
Thank God I got barked in by that fella.
Yeah, what a good thing to bark in,
Do you know what's weird is that's Jamaica and also Little Italy in Manhattan right now.
Yeah.
Dude, I was walking up like Grand or whatever and got like Cuomo'd nonstop up that fucking like they're like spinagoot, say man,
they pull you by,
like,
they pull you
come
in.
on, you're not hungry, you're gay.
Well, the woman that came over for the massage to me, she came over the first day, and like we were sitting on the beach, and she literally like hit me. She like smacked like my leg and was like, when you're getting the massage, you coming, right? And I was like, we were like, And it turns out that we ended up getting one anyway because it was like so ridiculously cheap. And it was for sure like the best massage we've ever had. So you're like, this is crazy. Everybody should go to Jamaica just for the massage.
Plus, those women have just vice grip hands.
They're so good. She was the best. So
it's like men without any of the, weird feelings.
Yeah. So we're just, we end up having this like just an amazing time. We're like, I fucking love Jamaica. The only thing that sucks is like, that drive back, it just is like the homes that some of the people live in is just like so violently depressing that you're like, I don't know what to do. Like they're like way smaller, like half the size of this studio is like what like a family lives in. Like you can see, like most of them don't have windows, but then there's also ones that have like, they have like a brand new washing machine and they're like on cell phones, but they have like no electricity. Like they're missing the second story of like what would be a house. And you're just like, it looks like someone started building a house and then vacated it and then people just like squatted and moved in there.
Yeah, I don't even
really
know what
sad.
to say to that. Like, because it was similar in Bali, and especially when we went during that whole, I forget what fake tourist ritual they put on for us, but they also started bringing us through their homes, and it was similar, where it's like, it was all hand-built, mostly unfinished, mattresses stacked where just all bodies were laying.
Yeah.
Like,
There's
age,
definitely no
relationship,
zoning
whatever.
laws.
No zoning, no code, nothing like that. And also, the people that I spoke to, I don't know, you can't be like, they were all so happy, so we should all live in mud. But like the people that I spoke to, a lot of them seem far more fulfilled than I'll ever be.
Well, for sure. No, there definitely is a thing to where it's like they can live more modestly, but you're like, can't we split the difference of like some of these people
Maybe
you're
clean
like
water.
Yeah, like it's like a broom closet that it was so sad to that part. So that was kind of like a weird bummer to end the trip going back because you're like, Jesus Christ. But but we ended up becoming friends, like I said, with this security guard at the beach and stuff. And yesterday, or I guess maybe, no, it wasn't even yesterday. It was earlier today. He sent me this video, which play that, Alex. He sent me this video. Yeah. So there's the beach. If anyone's listening, he's sending me a video of the beach, and he pans down, and in the sand wrote Jamaica misses Mike and Erica 2021. He wrote that in the sand and then sent it to me. And he was like, next time you come, I would love to take you around the island, show you my family, show you where things are, like take you to the beautiful countryside, take you to Kingston. Like he was like, he legitimately like made a friend with this guy. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, you know, we tipped him pretty nice the last day that we left, but
that fucking chills me to the bone.
Yeah, you don't like when people are nice to you.
I don't like it, and I don't trust it. And frankly, Omar, I'm no longer your team.
That's not Omar, you racist son of a bitch.
That's when you want to make your Irish goodbye.
Hey everyone, before we go, if you enjoy this podcast, you might enjoy some of the other podcasts available at gasdigitalnetwork.com.
This week, we are highlighting, well, wouldn't you know it, Broad Topics, spelled Topix, with hosts Kim Congdon and Alex something. You can find the full catalog of episodes on demand at gasdigitalnetwork.com or catch the latest 15 episodes anywhere you find podcasts. Here's a little clip.
So we go to our
one last garage
sale, and we kind of move out of the nicer neighborhood into like this little like trailer park area, which was so cute, and the energy there, top notch.
Everybody was it was a mobile home.
They were the happiest people I've ever seen in my dang life.
There's a difference between trailers and mobile homes, and I'll tell you, I've lived in both.
I don't know the difference, I'm sorry.
A mobile home is just a classier trailer park. It's for older people. Trailer parks are for meth addicts and people who got pregnant by their daddies at 11. And a mobile home is just people that want to save some money, live small, and buy a big camper.
No, these were like classy people. Those campers looked nice, all right? That looked like a expensive camper to me. Yeah. And we came upon this old lady having a garage sale that, like, she was just starting to pack up a little bit.
When we got out, she was done.
Yeah, I guess so. Because we got out and she was like, take it all, please.
No, at first she started with the corner, remember?
Oh, that's right.
She wasn't sure.
Yeah. She was like, that stuff over there in the corner is going to Goodwill already, so if you want anything from that corner, you could just take it.
When I tell you I dove into that.
Alex told him. Kim had to sit down, like, take her fucking hat off for a second and get comfortable. You know? She sat on the grass.
You saw that breathing exercise? I had to stop and do that because I about passed out when she said that. All free corner.
Mind you, these things cost 25 cents a piece, but man, the way that she started loading buckets of this woman's things into a pickup truck to the point where I'm sitting in the back seat of this, she's gonna piss herself. Poor Kimmy. Literally, I'm sitting in the back of the pickup truck with things on top of me by the time we're leaving. That ain't neither here nor there, though. Kim was real excited when she saw those things, and she packed them in pretty much without looking at them. Like, we had to look at the whole haul later. But in the meantime, we're talking to this lady. Her name was Sue. I hear the toilet flush. I'm just trying to stretch till Kim makes it back here, because I really want her to be here when we talk about Sue. I'm going to wear some of Sue's clothes on next week's podcast, first of all, when I'm back in New York. Okay. Remember when we met Sue?
I remember
So
Sue.
she's the lady who was like, take that shit in the corner. I'm giving it to Goodwill already. And over the course of us shopping at her garage sale for like an hour or so, she let out a little more of her personality by the minute.
The more she told us, the more she gave us free shit, the more we had to know. It was the rule for taking her shit, is we have to have her story permanently ingrained in who we are as people. Listen, now we're going to start this. I wish that we could have like the story of Sue.
Frank, work on that.
The story of Sue. If you could have one cigarette, just go.
She's like this petite old lady, right? She can't be taller than I guess she's like 5'7" or so, but she's so petite. She's wasted away.
She looks like Tan Mom.
Yeah, she's got white hair. She's really
got like a
old.
bowl cut, like a little bit of like a.
Yeah, like white hair, like really, really short, cute.
She's adorable.
She's adorable.
She's smoking a cigarette.
Raspy old voice.
She sounds like me now.
She sounds like the character that we'd been doing since before we met her.
Whatever we've been doing since we started this, that's Sue.
So, first of all, Kim knows me. She knew that I was like, not this lady had just bags of her clothes, and I was like, I'm not looking through this shit. This is fucking crazy.
How pro was I?
And Kim was like, you better look through those bags, all right? This is all free. And I opened up the bags. And it's like I was Sue in a different life. She wore the same perfect size as me. There's all of these like cool acid wash jeans and like dope shit from the 70s. She used to ride motorcycles, fucking cool hats and shit. All this stuff that I would buy fresh off the rack if I saw it, Sue was just giving me for free. It fits me like a fucking glove.
Every time we grabbed something, she'd thank us, and that's when I knew something was up.
And she kept, she was like, thank you. I'm telling you, the less money that goes to the fucking CEO of Goodwill, the better.
And I said, that's right, Sue. Do you want these bundt cake makers?
He said, he's been ripping us off for years, Sue. You want these?
Hey, Sue, what you got inside?
I know you said take it. I just want to double check.
I was doing that. I was going, are you sure this grandfather clock?
Are you sure we can?
Meanwhile, I'm in the corner firing up eBay like it's my job. I'm looking to. I've said this once or twice tonight. I'm looking through Sue's trinkets as if they were my own grandfather's.
But also, as Sue is watching me unbox her clothes with like the joy on my face, she's deciding that she's done with everything at her garage sale, and she's like, you know what? Fuck it. It's not just this corner. Everything here is free for you
Makes
guys.
the announcement mid us going through her trash, and we celebrate like the rats that we are.
We fucking dance.
We're like, thank you,
We
Sue.
dance like banshees about it.